3 jours, même l'homme avant moi là, ça peut bien tuer mes amis.
Port-au-Prince, Haiti. Disgrace, catastrophe, a no man's land. Here is a brief story of a country that is dying. A country that was surprised by an earthquake. And in this surprise, its needs and poverty without a cover. The lack of government, the lack of political structures, is the prison of the people that lived trapped in an island. This is the story of a country that lives trapped in an island, that lives trapped in its story. With no future, with practically nothing. An earthquake that replants the people of a country of a black origin to the modernized, globalized world. This is the story of the last month and a half of centuries of suffering, of centuries of underdevelopment, of centuries of abandonment. A few hours after the earthquake, robbing and stealing began. People were hungry. People wanted anything. Anything that could guarantee them one more day of food, one more day of life. And inside the debris, thousands and thousands of human bodies. Over 280,000 cadavers were trapped inside the debris. Around 3.5 million homes totally destroyed. The infrastructure collapsed, with no water, no electrical power, no food, and no medical services at all. Hundreds of families dismembered.
The name of this little child is Oristo, and he's here with his father. Basically, he lost his mother and 4 other children during the earthquake. And his father wants to give him an adoption because he doesn't think he is going to be able to support this little boy.
Thousands of orphan children. Violence, robbery, and despair. Chaos and insufficient rescue teams for all the victims, for all the wreckage. After the United States, Haiti was the second colony to seek its independence in 1804 and the first to abolish slavery. Localized on the island La Española, a neighbor to Dominican Republic, touches the waters of the Atlantic Ocean and the Caribbean Ocean. With the lowest salaries and wages of the Occidental Hemisphere, sometimes they can't even afford just a bowl of rice. Their basic nourishment are some cookies made of mud and animal fat. Suffers from undernutrition, and their life expectancy is only 57 years. Haiti is to be considered the poorest country of all the American continent. 70% of its population lives under extreme poverty. The average of children per family is 5, and 5 of every 10 children do not know how to write or read. And although Haiti has received a lot of international support and help, it has not been enough.
Well, at this moment we are dealing mainly with post-op patients. These are mainly all the patients that had required some sort of amputation or some major surgical procedure done and require some lengthy hospital time.
Just behind me, the nursing school of the university hospital, in which 109 students were killed during the earthquake.
In order for themselves to be able to generate the labor and the employment enough to sustain their economy and their population.
Un proceso de regularización de una serie de actividades ordinarias, como es el caso de la actividad comercial, el caso de los vendedores ambulantes.
The 12th of January, the day that the Haitians claim God just left them by themselves. 3.5 million people without a home. 3.5 million of people that live on the streets, in the parks, in the stadiums, wherever they can, in public buildings that have not been destroyed. Every little spot, every little inch of space has been occupied by tents. The sense of society, the sense of family has been somehow lost, where the conditions of health and cleanness are not very safe. Before the earthquake, Haiti already suffered from a big crisis of drinking water. After the phenomenon, there is basically no drinking water available. International help, aid and support are little by little arriving. At some point, in some stages, it appeared like Haiti was under a civil war. Chaos and violence around many streets. Everybody wanting a little piece of something, some food, some goods. Anything is good to sell and get some money out of it. And all those people that saved their lives from the earthquake, are they going to be able to survive, to save their lives without food, without water, without medicines? This is one of the immense paradigms that Haiti is facing today. Haiti's future is basically pending on a cord.
Just behind my back we have the National Palace that was heavily destroyed during the earthquake.
One of the strongest problems for the country right now, and within the next days, will be what to do with thousands of orphans that have lost all their families and wander around alone through the streets of Port-au-Prince, without a government that can protect them. The need of the help of the international society and the international community in this specific case is urgent. They need urgently to be counted. They need to be identified. They need to be protected from the international mafia of people dealers, of people traffickers. The statistics are impressive. 76 of each 1,000 children die before their 5th birthday. 25% of the children were born in underweight. 5 of each 10 children were going to school. And 25% have no vaccines at all. 21 of every 100 children under the age of 14 work. In 2007, there were 350,000 orphans in Haiti. We don't imagine how many will be after this earthquake. And in the middle of all this disaster, there is sure hope. Help is arriving to Haiti. International support is there. The Red Cross of many countries, Germany, Switzerland, Netherlands, the Army of Japan or of Nepal, the US Air Force, the Mexican Navy, the Colombian Army, Médecins Sans Frontières, the World Food Program, United Nations. Hundreds and hundreds of organizations putting together plans, projects, aid, help and support. Normal people adopting children, like these Argentinian families.
Mi nombre es Damián Lodla, soy argentino, vengo de Haití. Hace 18 días viajamos a Haití para ir a buscar a nuestros hijos. Y bueno, conseguimos los papeles del gobierno haitiano, del gobierno argentino y la visa dominicana. Y nosotros, en el caso de las familias argentinas, éramos 14 familias. Este chiquito nació el 1 de enero.
Wow. This is the time for the international community to put its eyes over a country that needs help desperately, that needs support, solidarity, and Menschkeit. There is still time, but not too much.
Stories like this happen every day. Stories like this, stories from life. True stories, sad stories.
From Haiti, a special report for YPO WPO, Ricardo Obert.